Why am I nervous? Okay, you're gonna edit it out anyways. So, Intruder.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me about the song. What is it that inspired you to write the song?
Um. Okay. To be honest, when I started the song, I didn't know that that's what I was gonna write about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just, I was feeling down. Then downloaded an instrumental. I
Mm-hmm.
had to like search on YouTube like said instrumental because I was
Oh,
feeling down and like I
Mm-hmm.
need reference when I write. I can't just write out of the blue, so I need to have like a beat and everything. So yeah, I eventually found it. Then I came up with the chorus. I was on my way to Cavendish and like the chorus was stuck in my head. So like I wrote it down in the text. Yeah. Then I came back, started writing. I guess it just went with the flow. Like I started speaking about how I view myself, and to be honest, it's probably like one of the most difficult songs I've ever written, especially the first verse, cause I was just like, let me be brutally honest, and I just like attacked myself the way I guess the critic in my head attacks me, and I was like, let me be open and honest. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say there was like a sense of liberty when you're like writing the song? It was a sort of cathartic tool to you.
Very like
Okay.
yeah, it was yeah, I mean it allowed me to just like say how I view myself, which I've never done before. I think many times in songs I can easily speak about how I feel because I'm in tune with my feelings. But like talking about how you view yourself, that's very exposing.
Yeah.
More in my opinion. So
Yeah. And you started off by saying that you've been searching for yourself, and now that we're here, we're talking about it. Let's go back to that time that you actually were writing the song, and this line came. What was going through your mind?
it's just it feels like it's always been a thing of who am I. I feel like I remember in like 2019 I used to say I feel like I can be anything but I'm nothing. And it's like I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm supposed to be and what my dream is or where I'm headed. So I'm like all this time I'm just like searching for myself. What do I like? What do I want to be and all that. So I guess that's how it started really.
And there's a part where you mention that you feel like a fraud. You talk about not having a sense of identity, and you speak about people pleasing. So explore that. How did writing this song make you connect with that part of yourself, that truth to yourself?
I guess it's like oh yeah, it's something I do like so often, and I try to like just call myself out like okay, this is what you're doing, like just that awareness of nah, get to like why you're doing it. But at the same time it's like I feel like a fraud anyways. Like if I'm doing that, I'm people pleasing, like this thing's gonna call me out. But even if I'm not, this thing's gonna call me out because I see myself as a fraud. So everything I do, I'm like, why are you doing that? Are you not doing it just to like please whoever?
Is requesting that
So
something. And then
yeah.
and then there's a story which I found quite interesting, where you speak about your experience in grade 1. Tell us about that.
It explains a lot for me, not just one thing, but mostly two things. Okay, so the story basically it's like I was doing athletics at school, two classes in grade 1. So in my class, I was number one. So then they were like both classes the fastest run together. Then this kid like he won. Yeah,
He beat you.
yeah, I was number two.
Could you take him? What is it? What's the line? Would you be able to take him? Something along those lines.
Can I take him on? Only
Yes, that
time will tell.
one. Yes.
I couldn't take him on.
Yeah.
But like I guess like I when I got home and my mom asked, I told her like I was number one. Then she was like, "Oh, I'm proud, whatever." Then I felt so ashamed. Then I didn't want to run again. Yeah, I stopped running. That like the next time, whatever, the official thing, I didn't run. I guess the one part is like me lying to my mom, right? Just to make her happy, which sort of like fed into me lying about myself and hiding parts of myself just because I want people to like me. So for me, that's why I can like trace it all the way back to.
So that aspect of people pleasing.
Yeah.
So starting from the maternal figure that had you, and then
Yeah.
going on to the other people that you have connections with or
Yeah.
relations with. Okay, that makes sense. And yes, continue.
Oh, like so the other part is, me not running again because I was number two, and it's like this perfectionist thing of like if I'm not the best, then what's the point, you know? So I'm scared of failure now. I'm scared of not doing something that's gonna be considered great. So for me, all I can trace it back to that as well. Like if maybe I told my mom, oh, I was number two, then she would have been, that's great, you did your best, number two is amazing, that would have clicked into my head, like, you don't have to be the best at everything you do.
So having that sense of affirmation.
Yeah.
But I mean, that still would link to people pleasing, would it not? Because you're still hoping to please how that person perceives you, is it not? So it's very complex in that regard. Because I mean, even if she says you're number two, you're still gonna carry on with that because you want to please or want to have that affirmation that, oh yes, my mother sees this in me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think also it could have just been like, as long you did your best, and I think that's the thing I've always missed is knowing like doing my best is enough, and I have to do my best. So it's like I'm even scared to do my best because what if my best is not the best? So at times I don't. That's why I lower my expectations and everything, and sometimes I don't do my best because. Yeah.
Damn, that's deep, child. and then in that context, because you speak about doing the best, I can't remember the particular words, but I remember there's an aspect of wanting to better yourself, and I noted it down as self actualization. So with having going through the process of writing, what would you say this song allowed you to better in your life?
For me, it allowed me to be more vulnerable than I have ever been. Because as much as I've known, these things about me, but it's not something that I just speak about, or you don't want to disclose that, oh, I'm a people pleaser. It's not an attractive trait to have, but it was just about me talking about this perhaps maybe more common experience than I think in the song, and just being vulnerable in that sense. So I guess that allowed me to be seen, which is a scary thing. So that's one thing that it's allowed.
And there's a line where you actually are speaking to yourself. You say, "Dear Sihle," and then you go on and say all that you want to say. So then, when you were writing that, what was happening in your head?
It's like there's this thing in me, right, where it's like I feel like I'm locked out of myself.
Yes, which you mentioned in the song, yes.
Yeah, and it's like there's a part of me I can't connect to. Like it's closed off for me, and it's like I can't get into this wall of just feeling like I'm me. So it's like I feel like there's a part of me in here that I can't reach. So I
Mm.
can't feel it. I can't really feel deep within myself in a way. Like no matter how hard I try, there's this layer I can't reach. So it's like I'm speaking to that part of me that I can't reach to
Mm.
let me in.
So allowing yourself access to yourself, basically.
Yeah.
Damn. And then, so you did mention on, as you mentioned that you like a spectator in your own film, and there's an aspect of or rather a theme of depression that you mentioned, where you talk about 2007, 2017.
Mm.
Talk about that, or tell us about it and how that became a way of liberating yourselves in the process of writing the song.
Oh, to be honest, it's about a girl. Okay, not
Ah.
really about a girl, but
Okay.
it's like I was depressed then, right?
Mm.
Um, then there's also those years. It's like identity versus raw confusion.
Yes.
So it's like I was within myself then. Sure, I was depressed, and it's like I was in this wall, right, within myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when that whole thing happened, it's like she pulled me
Out
out
of
of,
yourself.
yeah, or at least
Mm.
out of the depression, right? But it's like
Oh, okay.
after that, I don't know who I am because this is all I've known myself to be. So
Mm.
now it's like I have to be like, without this depression, who am I?
Mm.
And I remember, like, I've spent the past 6 years really like longing to be back into that place of
Mm.
depression.
So
You
that
know,
you get an aspect of yourself back.
yeah, there's a,
Oh.
even though it's like it's sad and there would be hopelessness and despair, but there would be comfort as well.
Because you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, there's just a sense of like comfort that comes with hopelessness because there's less disappointment and there's less to look forward to, so
Mm.
less to be let down by.
Mm.
You know.
And with making this song, what would you say was the most liberating thing about it? I mean, you did mention that it allowed you to be vulnerable and all of that, but beyond that, what is it that you could say felt different compared to when you were thinking these words, but now you were actually writing them down and then later on recording them?
Yeah, when like you've always been looking for a way to explain something
Mm.
and you've never found it. Then when you finally do, you feel validated in a way.
Mm.
So this song to me served as like a huge source of validation to how I feel, like it's actually
Mm.
real. This is what it is, and I've managed to write it down now. So at least I can express it, like it sounds so confusing in my head. I'm like, how am I gonna begin to explain the
Mm.
fact that I feel like I'm not within myself,
Mm.
but like writing the song just gave me this sense of what you're feeling is real.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that was the biggest thing for me, really.
Okay. So, are you hoping people would receive the song?
Um, I guess for one, well, I've seen it from like one or two people. I guess I've seen the aspect of like I relate, and
Mm.
I think that's just the first thing I want, like I think we have so many common experiences
Yeah.
that are so vulnerable and we never talk about them.
Yeah.
That like just having that person who's like, oh, I feel this way too. It's like,
The
I'm not,
validation,
yeah,
validating the experience.
yeah.
Mm.
So it's like I'm not alone in this
Mm.
this feeling. So that's one thing I want. Then like also just to be understood. You know,
Mm.
you don't have to relate to how I'm feeling,
Mm.
but like just take your time to understand. what I'm saying and who I'm saying I am and what I'm going through.
Okay. Are there specific individuals that you were thinking about that you're mentioning that, like, when you were writing the song, that you think it would be beneficial if they could understand you perhaps?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so. I just I got into this place of I wanted to be honest about how I view myself,
For
and
yourself. Okay.
for me, that's the first thing I needed it to be. I needed it to be for me, and like, to be honest, I didn't think I'd have the guts to actually record this and everything. So I think it was a freeing thing about me thinking I'm not gonna record this. So I wasn't afraid to say anything, because when you're writing something with some people in mind, you're gonna be like, no, this is too much, too deep, whatever, too personal, all that. But because in my head I was like, I'm just writing this because I need to, for me, then I was able to fully express myself. So I think it helped doing it just for me.
And you've mentioned a lot about the writing process of it. But now, recording the song, how was that experience? The actual recording where you actually had to verbalize what you had written down.
Yeah, online, man. Like, so we did it like in two sessions. The first one, I guess my vocals weren't so good and whatever. But also I think I hadn't really like taken myself back into those feelings, because to be honest, recording is also like it's a skill, right?
Yes, definitely.
So like for me, I guess I've always been like, let me improve my pen game. Then my producer helped quite a lot, man. Shout out to UD, WMG, Wakefield Monopoly Gang. He helped me quite a lot, like just saying like, take yourself back to that place,
Damn.
feel those emotions again, convey them. Like, a person needs to
Feel
feel
it. I
what you're
literally felt
feeling.
it. I felt
Yeah,
it. Because when I was listening to the song, I'm like, okay, pause button. I can't finish this song now. It's too much
bruh.
emotions. Yeah, but continue.
So for the first time, it was so taxing emotionally. Like I remember, I felt so drained after I did that, because I'd never done it before. For me, I'm just like, just say, So after that, I was so drained. But then I went back the second time. Then I was like, I'm holding nothing back. I'm like bringing my whole experience and feelings into it, and it's like there was a sense in me of like I'm
Letting
taking,
go
yeah,
and claiming back your power per se.
yeah,
Okay.
and it's like I'm taking myself back into that place, and I'm like, this is everything. Then the last verse, I was like, I need you to feel the hopelessness I'm feeling in a way. Not that it's a bad thing. Okay, hopelessness is a bad
It is a
thing,
bad
but
thing.
I'm like, I need to be honest with how I feel and convey it in how I'm going to record this. Damn. Yeah, it was a lot.
Wow. So, from what I'm understanding, it was more liberating than the second time because you had allowed yourself, or rather, you had your producer who actually kind of coached you into stepping into that
Yeah,
darkness and actually embracing it. So it was a moment of embracing the darkness yourself
yeah,
and allowing the darkness to come out as
yeah,
its true colors, in its true sense,
yeah,
and allowing yourself to embrace it in its true
yeah,
sense.
yeah, like there was as I'm recording it, there was a point where I'm like, I feel like this is too much, I'm doing too much. But I was like, whatever,
Yeah.
like I will need you to feel this.
Okay.
So I let myself be consumed in it, and like I I released everything.
And then almost done. But like in terms of that whole process, what would you say artistically? How has this process of writing, recording, and living in those feelings and experiences, how has that improved your artistic creativity?
It's for one, right? Okay, I'll touch on the recording part first.
Yeah.
As I've said, right, like it's a certain skill,
Mm.
just like the delivery and everything. So it's like now I'm more conscious of like the feeling I need to give for the song. What I felt when
So
I
the
wrote it.
message
Yeah,
behind, okay.
yeah. So I'm like, what did I feel when I wrote this? I need to convey that feeling when I'm recording it as well. So it's like now I'm more cognizant of that and I'm like intentional about it. Then also in terms of writing, one, like I said, I think I need to find a way to, you know, just the thing of like I'm doing this for me. It freed
Mm.
me quite a lot because usually when I write songs, I'm like, but how will like another person feel? Maybe
Mm.
this is too dark. Maybe I need to have like some closure at the end, some
Mm.
fake closure, perform it at least or make it up or whatever. But because I was doing it for me, I was like,
Mm.
let me just say how it is. If
Mm.
there's no reconciliation at the end, that's just where I am at the moment. I don't need to fake it.
So,
Then yeah.
mm-hmm. So to sum it up, you basically grew in that you're more authentic in your artistry now.
Yeah.
That's big. That's
Very,
very massive.
very.
And if you were your younger self, going back to that grade one Sihle, what would you obviously you would say you would tell your mother the truth, but beyond that, what would make you feel more hopeful? Because one can assume that there was a sense of hopelessness even with that, like, oh, okay, I didn't make number one and I stopped athletics. So if you were to be like go back to younger Sihle, what would you say to him? What would you advise him to do differently to be more self-validating, to be more self-accepting, to be more vulnerable?
I yeah. I guess it would be like um I would just tell myself then that like all you need to do is do your best. Like make sure you do your best and don't disappoint yourself. Then that's all that matters. And you don't have to be the best at everything.
Yeah.
I mean realistically there can only be one number one in like running. So does that mean everyone else should quit?
No.
So like just that thing and just like yeah, just do your best and that should like find happiness in that, knowing that you gave it your all and that's what your all is.
I think that is a very powerful thing that even other artists can take. Because, I mean, we can make it a metaphoric thing because, in a way, making art is a race of its own.
Yeah.
And there's things like billboards and charts. And how concerned or how big are you on those things?
I mean obviously, a part of me would like to see myself up in those, right? But it's like it has to be more than that for me to keep going.
Yeah.
Like that's not why I started this.
Yeah.
Like I started it because I wanted to express myself and just say how I'm feeling, and especially in hip hop, that's like
Mm.
it's so competitive, right? Like how good are you? And
There's this culture.
yeah,
There's, yeah,
like
beef culture, all of that.
streams and everything and all that. So it's like I need to like not be concerned about that
Okay.
and be concerned about how authentic I am and how I'm getting people to connect with what I'm saying. So sure that there'll be songs where I'm like, yo, I'm the shit. I'm just like gonna yeah say whatever and show my writing skills and everything and flex. But it's like I need it to be more than that. To me this is also like a medium of me trying to find myself and find peace
Like
and
those
happiness.
barriers, those layers that you mentioned.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
so that's what it is. That's why, like, as I mentioned, like, it also, this perfectionist thing,
Mm-hmm.
it also affected my songwriting.
Mm.
Because, like, now I'm like, okay, this is what I did the last song, the next one has to be better than that, more syllables, more rhyme schemes, more bars, more everything, so it's like I was always so fixated in that, that I get lost in that and I forget what I'm trying to say. So also in this song, I stopped caring about that, like, especially in the first verse. It's like I don't rhyme that much because I'm more concerned about what I'm trying to say. So that was, for me, like, liberating in a way, to stop caring about trying to uh like what's the
It's
word,
trying to be perfect. So
yeah,
trying to be the best
yeah, and like
compared
get
to
to
other people. Yeah.
and get to this standard of myself that I have. Like, I don't always have to reach the standard of, like, lyrical and, yeah, lyrical
The
prowess.
brilliance and all of that. Makes sense.
At times it's like I just need to say what I need to say, and that's what art is, saying what you need to say.
In that note of saying what you need to say what you need to say about when we are getting the song. How do we access the song? How do we get to the song?
Okay, so Intruder, well, it's probably gonna be out now when you watch this. So out in every streaming platforms. When, I don't know, cause I still need to get it to distributors and everything. But, like, it's out now, so get it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, whatever, every streaming platform is out there.
It's
Yeah,
Tidal,
everything, it's out there. Lyric video up there. I'm so big on lyrics, so, like,
Yes,
of course,
we need
I'm
to
gonna
see.
I'm gonna deliver lyric videos that are accurate and everything. So yeah, check me
And
out.
last question: when can we expect an album? Because we want an album. We want an album,
Okay,
not
so,
just a single.
okay, this is an EP, so obviously,
Okay.
it's coming up. Like, I'm gonna be releasing in, like, a single every week. So this one this week, the next one the following week. So it's like in 4 weeks,
Sequence.
single, then one single with the whole EP. So you can expect the EP in the next 3 weeks. Breaking the Ice. That's what the EP is called.
Thank you.
So yeah,
The
check
ice
me
must
out.
be broken. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
That was so nice. That's